Hi, everybody. This is Paul Hitchcock, founder and president of Giant Jacks Media, where we are helping others to grow and nurture their businesses. And this is Giant TV. Love this channel. This is a way I give back by having very dynamic entrepreneurs on the show. And you'll walk away with some snippets about how they're doing things. And Debbie Z is certainly one of them. Welcome, Debbie Z.
Hey, Paul, thanks so much for having me. I'm excited.
Absolutely. And you and I were talking offline. I just love your business. Excited to learn more about it here. But I want to get into this and just let's start on what exactly are you focused on with your business? I know you're an executive coach, but that simplifies it. What are you doing?
So I learned many years ago when I was a CEO of a company that there are profit drivers of a business. And my first coach said to me that I needed to know my numbers as well as my CFO. And I'm like, why? I have a CFO. Why do I have somebody? And she very wisely said, how are you paid? How are you compensated? And I said, well, it's a salary plus bonus. And she goes, how's the bonus paid? Now, of course, she knows the answer. I said, well,
Yeah.
it's paid on profit. And then I went,
Uh-huh. Bing, bing, bing,
ah,
bing, bing. Yeah.
I need to know the numbers. And I
Yeah.
said, well, how do I do that? Now, I had a working knowledge of like filling out taxes and tax deductible expenses. And so I
Yeah.
had a working knowledge of business around numbers. But I'm
Hmm.
like, well, how do I do that? She says, I want you to sit down with your CFO every month and I want you to go line by line. We closed out our books every month to look because obviously I'm paid on profit. You have to know
Yeah.
what the numbers are. So we closed out our books every month. And I went line by line. I said, well, what am I looking for? She says, you're not really looking for anything. You're looking to understand, how is this number figured? Where does it come from? And she goes, slowly over time, you're going to start to see the story of the numbers.
Oh,
And,
interesting.
and then you're going to be able to forecast, and then you're going to be able to understand the ways to cut expenses to increase profit.
Brilliant.
And so I built this amazing skill to understand the profit levers of the business.
Yeah.
Fast forward, no longer the CEO, I move into coaching, and I realize that most business owners don't understand the profit levers of their business. They're really good at their craft. They're good at the product or service they sell, but they don't really know the profit levers. No
Hmm.
judgment. They've managed to be very
Yeah.
successful without
Yeah.
knowing them.
Yeah.
But I realized that I could help a business owner learn to identify the profit levers in their business, and small changes create dramatic results. So about 5 years ago at the pandemic, I was at a crossroads and I said, I want to do this full time. I want to help small and medium sized businesses figure out the profit levers of their business and basically identify the pathway to faster profit. Long
Yep. Yep.
story, but that's actually, so I help small to medium sized businesses identify the profit levers, and then I teach them how to move them to increase profit.
Well, so yeah, and because I see your tagline here. One of them on LinkedIn is "Stop throwing spaghetti against the wall to grow your business." Love it. And so the profit thing is interesting. So when you get in with a business, and I want to hear about the niches you're helping, uh, what is it that you do? I mean, you've got to have a discovery situation where you've got to get in there and dig around and find out what's going on before you can advise them. So, who are you working with? And then what does that initial interaction look like? Is it with just the owners or with the executive team? What's going on there?
Yeah. So I target the business owner. I'm open to having some preliminary discussion with people that might be in, influence for the owner, but ultimately I'm working with the owner. Now, when I'm
Okay.
working with the client, I might be working with the CEO, right?
Yeah.
But the
Yep.
owner is making that decision on working together. And then as far as, I'll answer two questions. One is the type of business I like working
Yeah.
with. And then how do I really figure out how I can help them? So, number one, I love service based businesses, B2B and B2C. And that's only because I'm one of those weirdos that loves sales. I love it. To me, sales is service. So, I don't love slimy sales. I love, how do you move a potential customer from not wanting to do business with you to wanting to do business with them because they see you're the pathway to achieving their goal.
Well, I
So, I
got to tell you,
love
it's weird that
working.
well, I was just gonna say it's weird you love sales because you don't have an outgoing personality and
I
you
know.
seem really quiet.
I know. I just really believe that sales is service, right? I don't
Yeah.
sell anybody anything. I help identify if you have a Debbie shaped hole in your business. And if you have a Debbie shaped hole, then I can help you. I can't help you. Like part of the analysis is not, hi, I'm a business coach and you should work with me because I'm awesome. I can help with you.
Yeah.
I actually do a free business assessment for business owners
Oh,
where we go in and we look at some of the profit levers. We look at how they're currently impacting those profit levers. And what would it look like if we were able to improve that efficiency in that area? And so it's a 1 hour assessment. And my offer is that I can show you how you can double your profit. And most business owners don't believe me. They don't believe that it's possible because they've been trying to double their profit since they started their business. And they come away from that 1 hour assessment going, wow, I just wasn't looking at the right things. It not
what
only
is
can
it? Oh,
I
no.
see the path,
Yeah.
but
Well,
it doesn't look hard.
okay. So that's awesome. And what is it then? Is there a common thread of where you're looking to create profit where maybe they're not seeing it? Like what is the common area there?
Yeah, the common area is for the average business owner, small to small, medium-sized business owner, we look at 12 profit areas, and every single assessment looks at those 12 areas. Different businesses have different opportunities. They might be
Yeah.
good here, but not so good there. They might be good here, but not so good there. So we're looking at 12 areas that are fairly common with most business owners. Now, a more complex business owner, it's more nuanced. And so I do have a 40-item assessment for a more complex business. So if it's a bigger business or more complex, there's more areas to look at that we can create impact. But for most business owners, it's 12. And I'll give you some examples of some of the areas. One of the first questions I'll ask a business owner is, when's the last time you've looked at your expenses line by line and looked for ways to cut or reduce expenses? And the average business owner, I can see them feeling uncomfortable.
They don't do
They'll
it.
say 6 months to a year. And what I know to be true is they look to cut some expenses. If they are a B2C and they buy product, they're always talking with their vendors on how to cut expenses. But when I say line by line, I'm talking from staff to copy paper.
Okay.
Literally staff to copy paper. And the reality is 98% of the businesses say, I've not really ever done that. And I've got a very simple process with an acronym that I have them go through the numbers. I help them assemble the numbers and I help them go through and ask themselves 5 questions on each expense. And then we create a strategy for improving those. Very often with just cutting expenses, I can find my coaching fee.
Oh, right.
Just that strategy.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Just that strategy, right?
Yeah.
Then there's 11 other areas. Another area we talk about is I ask them what their email drip campaigns, if they were to rate it on a scale of 1 to 10, with 10 being I'm targeting both current customers and future customers. I know the frequency and the conversion of my campaigns. That's a 10.
I'd be shocked that any of them have that going on at all.
So the average number is a 2 or a 3.
But they have email campaigns where they're tracking it. I mean, they even are doing it. It's surprising.
No, that's what I'm saying.
Oh, they're not.
But here's the myth. The myth is they go, it's a 2. I have a newsletter, but I don't send it out regularly.
Yeah.
And I'll say, well, are you gathering emails regularly? No, not really doing that either. And they're depressed. And I say, look, don't feel bad. You think you need to have a 10. My experience is if we make that 2 a 4, you can start making money.
Boom. Yeah.
5.
Yeah.
You don't do it because you think you need to have a 10. My experience is we're just going to make improvements. We're going to take it from a 2 to a 3, a 3 to a 4, a 4 to a 5, but you're going to start to see results right away.
Yeah.
And you go, oh, that doesn't seem hard.
Yeah. So you're taking them by you're taking them by the hand and coming to an awareness with them as you're uncovering this stuff. Because one of the things you said, we were talking offline, is when you help the accountants, that's fascinating because I think that goes beyond just showing how to get more profit. You got to change the mindset, do you not, with them? Because maybe they're just doing compliance and going from that to what you talked about, tax planning, recurring revenue, not just billable hours. That's a different whole mindset. Is that a fair statement?
It is a fair statement, but my experience is it's an 80-20 rule, meaning 80% of accountants, 80% of any business owner is okay with the status quo. As long as
Oh,
they're moving forward and they're profitable, they're
right,
okay.
right.
But 20% of any industry are visionaries. They're looking for solutions. They're looking for opportunity. They're looking for growth. And I'm looking for the people that are looking for me, right? When you say to the average business owner, would you ever hire a coach or consultant? Nah,
That's
nah.
true. Very
'Cause
true. Very true.
I don't. But 20% is, I'd love to find a solution. I'd love to find a way to figure it out. If I'd love to find someone that could help me.
Very
So
true
I'm
statement.
looking
Yeah.
for the 20%. I'm not really looking to, when we talk about marketing all the time, very often businesses are only targeting the people that are ready to buy. They're
Yeah.
not targeting people that are in the education phase, right? And that's another
Right.
opportunity to help them kind of get a hold of potential clients in advance of them making their decision.
Yeah.
Then there's also problem aware and problem unaware. I'm not working with people that are problem unaware. I want to work with people that are like, I'm looking to grow my business. It's important to grow my business. I've tried to grow my business, haven't quite been able to figure it out. But somebody somewhere has to know how to do that. And I'm committed to figuring that out. Those are my people, right? The ones
That's a
that
great,
are,
yeah, that's
yeah,
a great way to say it because those are two very different areas of prospects or whatever you want to call it. I used to call it inbound versus outbound. Outbound is you're trying to convince somebody they even need help, they even have a problem, which cold outreach, very hard versus inbound, which you described. People know they have an issue and they're looking for the right person. Very different conversations. You said it really well. So that
yeah.
is awesome. And then Debbie, what how long does an engagement last with you? You go in there, what is a typical engagement for you?
Typical engagement usually is a several years,
Yeah. Yep.
because they find so much success so quickly, and it's ongoing, right? It's not like, oh,
Right.
we figured out how to double profit, we're done.
Yeah.
Well, no, let's triple it, let's quadruple it. So my typical engagement usually is several years,
Yeah.
because the first year we're doing the low hanging fruit, and the second year we're getting nuanced, right? And it depends on the the customer, the client, is what do they want,
Yeah.
right? There's a cost to growth.
Yeah.
Cost.
Yeah.
You know,
For sure.
my goal is, another sort of phrase I use all the time is, I help business owners increase profit and increase joy. When you increase profit and now the business owns you, that's no fun, right? So how do we have a leveraged business that's making money that also brings me joy? I can take a vacation. I can spend time with my family. The business doesn't own me, I own the business. So year one, the business owns them. We're
Yeah.
we're 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 increasing that profit, and there is a cost to that. Year two, we're leveraging. How do
hmm
we, are we still on a huge growth path? Do we really want to double, triple, quadruple? If we are, great, let's go. Now, if we want lifestyle, let's figure out how to do that. How do we bring in people to do the actions that leverage the business owner from being married to that business? I love to ask business owners about the day they sat at their kitchen table to launch their business. Now, that's a metaphor, but every single business owner had a moment where they're like, I think I can do this, and this is what I want to do.
Or at the
What
bar. At
they
the bar.
saw that day was not an 80-hour week
Yeah. Right.
and
Right.
barely six figures. That's not what they saw. They might not have seen luxury, but they saw ease. They saw revenue. They saw ease. And so, how do we get back to that?
hmm
Right?
Yeah. Great stuff. And I, of course, pointed out earlier the Today I Choose Joy sign behind you. I love that. But one of the last things I want to ask you about is accountability, because you know, you, me, I mean, all of us who are working with people and say, hey, these are solutions, these are tasks, these are things that can benefit you in some way. Great. You and me, we're not doing those tasks. They got to do them. So there's an accountability issue there. And as great as you may be on the front end, if they're not accountable and not executing, who cares what you did? Because it's all going to fall apart. So how do you embed accountability when you're working with these folks?
I find that most coaches or consultants struggle because they don't share expectations up front. So I do the assessment, and many times at the end of the assessment, people are like, oh my gosh, this is amazing.
Yeah.
How do I work with you? What will it cost? How do I do that? And I go, whoa, 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 whoa. Let's talk about expectations, because this is not, I'm the magic bullet and I solve all your problems. This is a co-creation, right? Together, we're going
Right.
to do this.
Right.
Here's what I know. We're going to uncover strategies that's going to require execution on your part. And if you come to each call and saying, oh, I didn't have a chance, because guess what? You're running a business. I get it. You're busy. So here's an expectation is you've got to be willing to figure out how to execute on the strategies we identify. Because here's what I know from years of coaching. If you come to every call saying, oh, I didn't get that done. Oh, I didn't get that done. Oh, I didn't get that done. 3 months down the road, you're going to say, I don't think this is working for me. And in your mind, it's
Correct.
me.
Correct. Absolutely
and
true.
in my mind,
Absolutely
it's you.
true. Absolutely
So
true.
now we have an agreement that we think we can work together. Let's talk about expectations. I have a weekly call. I expect you to meet with me weekly. Now, do I understand that things got in the way? But I want you to fight. Something gets in the way to still meet this week. Because here's what I know. If you don't take action every week, you're not going to find progress. And if we miss weeks, so if you consistently don't show up, then we're not a fit. If you consistently don't take action, we're not a fit. You have to really be committed to solving this issue. And so the reason I have the expectation call is because it still happens. Life gets in the way. Their business still, they're still really business in their week in every week. But now that we had that expectation in the front, I could say, hey, I've noticed you've shown up to the last 2 weeks and you haven't been able to take action. What's going on? Let's figure this out. How do we carve this up? Like, I also am good at accountability, that if you can't figure out a way to get things done, let's talk about a way to let's get it on your calendar. Let's do it Sunday night. Let's do it before you start your workday. Let's come up with that strategy. People need 2 things to be successful: strategy and execution. And believe it or not, strategy is easy. Strategy is easy. Execution is hard. I feel like, yes, I help business owners with the strategy, but the real value is I hold them accountable to the micro steps so if we're going to look at your expenses, week 1, I'm going to say, okay, get your credit card statements, get your bank statements, get your annual contracts, like your insurance contracts. I want you to get them all together. Your only job this week is assemble. Let's assemble these items. Week 2, now let's talk about my acronym on how to look at each of these items and ask yourself a question about whether we can eliminate it completely, whether we need to renegotiate it, whether we have other strategies. And let's identify all your expenses. Week 3 is, let's now go take some actions. Let's eliminate the things that we identified that we can eliminate. Let's create a negotiation plan for those items that we need to negotiate. Let's create a reduction plan for those things that we need to reduce. And let's now create a plan and implement, right? So it's that weekly action, not like go gather your expenses, go figure out what you can cut and come back next week. It's really walking through the action steps to execute on each of those things.
Oh, this is great. I'm just taking notes here. I love that co-creation. That's a great way to put it when there's accountability on both ends. Hey, we're co-creating this thing together. That's such a great way to say it. Debbie, I swear I could talk to you forever and listen to you. You have so many golden nuggets. I want to tell everybody listening, get connected to Debbie Z. Her information, wherever you're watching this, because we stream this everywhere, is around this video. And I know you mentioned you do have a complimentary assessment you will do for anybody. That's great. So, you can reach out and get connected that way. Debbie, awesome. I know we'll be talking again. I'm very interested in your progress. Thanks for doing this.
Hey, thanks, Paul. This has been great. Hopefully, some of this information can help some of your listeners.
Totally. Yeah, absolutely. All right. See you soon.
All right. Take care.